and recommend approval to the full MARB today. And so I think that we can easily complete what is on our agenda in this short half an hour, if not sooner, because there really is only one item that is then pending. That's the only opening remarks I have. Christine, do you have any other open remarks that I may have missed?
No, I do not. Thank you, Ms. Curtis.
Thank you. So first item, second item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of May the 25th. If I could please get a motion for approval. Thank you, Stephen. And how about a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Christine. Any discussion? I hear none. Can I get a roll call vote, please? Julian?
Yes. Mr. Hamilton?
I'm going to abstain unless you need my vote because I was not at the meeting.
Okay. Mr. Felsigno? Alright, I'll come back to Steve in case he's trying to get on the other platform. Is Mr. White on the call? He was trying to get on also.
I just reconnect, sorry.
There we go.
Here comes Bob right now.
Sorry about that.
We were just voting on the minutes. Steve,
Right.
Are you yay or?
No, yeah.
Thank you, Steve.
Ms. Shaw?
Phone's a little suspect, so I apologize.
I abstain, given I was absent from the beginning.
Ms. Kennison?
I approve.
And Mr. White on the minutes.
Aye.
All right, thank you. That's 3
Yes.
in favor and 2 abstain.
Julian.
Pat is here.
Yes, I actually am the one who moved the motion, so I'm a yes.
You moved the motion? I thought it was Stephen. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry, Pat. I did not know that you were with us.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, and I'm sorry, what are you voting, Pat?
Yes.
Thank you.
So
All
that's
right.
4 to 0 to 2.
Yes. So the minutes have been approved. Thank you. So the next item on the agenda is to discuss and the possible action of, I'm looking for approval because I'm in favor of the 5-year plan. And Julian has provided an update in our packet as well. There is a table that has been included in this packet today. I'll give you a quick overview of where we stand from the subcommittee level. We have reviewed the city's 5-year plan at several meetings, and the city has responded to various requests and revisions and additional information. The plan projects continued improvement in the fund balance for the general fund and maintains a high fund balance for the fire and sewer funds. Both the general fund and the fire funds had a negative fund balance as of fiscal year 2018. The general fund balance projected to be at 5% by the end of fiscal year 2023 and reach more than 6% by the end of the 5-year plan. The fire fund is projected to be over 20% and to remain at that 20% or above level. The revenue projections are based on modest assumptions, including the baseline growth of less than 0.1% for the grand list, and some adjustments are known for development of projects, and the expiration of tax abatement agreements. There's flat amounts for state fund aiding with conservative assumptions for additional revenue generated by the approved tiered pilot calculation. Most significant projection in the change of expenditures is the decline in the debt service payments, when previously issued police pension obligation bonds, those are being paid off, and the city is directing those savings to fund balance, which is definitely great news. The only remaining open item from the subcommittee is for us to review the related upcoming changes on the assumptions for the fire pension valuation. The subcommittee was asked the city to prepare an analysis of the potential impact on the future ADEC payments and could result from a lower discount rate. And the city completed this analysis with some guidance from their actuarial firm. An analysis and an explanation is provided in these materials today. I'm now going to ask the city, and with the help of Julian, to provide some overview of this analysis of this new updated, and I think that is commendable that Frank and company was able to actually get this information for us. So, good work. Frank.
Great, thank you. Good morning, everyone. So, as requested, although the valuation will not be actually be gone until the end of this fiscal year, we did get in contact with Milliman and asked them just kind of broad brush, back of the envelope, what their feeling would be if when we took the discount rate down. The impact to that would be an increase in the ADEC of roughly 8%. And they're also looking at extending the amortization from 12 years to 15 years. That would actually cause a decrease in the overall ADEC. It's the city's position that we will still contribute overall the combined numbers that are in the current 5-year plan. So that is the ADEC assumption that we had from the actuary plus the additional $350,000 contribution over and above that ADEC. So that being said, so if the ADEC went up, we would have reduced that voluntary contribution. If the overall ADEC goes down because of the extension of the amortization period, we would expect to increase that voluntary contribution to, again, hit the same combined numbers so that we can get this funding ahead of us and close the gap on this as quickly as possible. And I don't know, Julian, if you had anything else that you wanted to add from our discussions.
No, I think the summary table covers pretty much what you wanted to lay out, and you explained the contributions that are currently built into the 5-year plan. Even if the city only changed the discount rate, the currently programmed contributions to the pension fund would be able to absorb that increase in the ADEC. But if both of those assumption changes are made, it would actually result in, as you described, larger voluntary contributions to the plan. So until we see what the final actuarial valuation results in, this appears, based on the Milliman's preliminary estimates, to be a plan that could accommodate the assumption changes.
Yeah, I'm favorable. Thank you. This is actually really great news, as it's not going to impact the 5-year plan and should be moved towards a favorable. Any questions from the board members?
Yes, good morning all. Thank you for this analysis. I agree that it sheds a lot of light on questions that have been posed over the last year or so. I'm curious to know about the total annual pension-related payments. In other words, whether normal cost of benefits payments is included in this forecast, so that we can get a sense of the overall pension obligation that the city would face.
Yeah, I have those numbers in a separate forecast, but it was not part of this overall analysis. We just went back and asked the actuary what the impact on the ADEC would be, not what any change in potential payouts would be.
Okay, so I do think that when we're talking about longer range forecasts, especially when we're, I think this is a very aggressive schedule to improve the funded ratio. I think it's responsible, but it is pretty aggressive. It is helpful to know what the total annual payments are. So if that's available in a separate chart, I would just like to get the cumulative expense for each year.
Certainly, I can send that to you.
Thank you.
Oh, actually, on the second page of the documents that Julian sent you, that would be the table that's labeled Development of Contribution, Long Range Forecast. There's a column there called Benefit Payments.
Okay, got it. That's page 17.
Page 17, correct, of the Milliman valuation, yes.
Thank you.
And the funded ratio is there as well.
Yes, I see that.
Okay, good. Now, one other thing, Christine, that's not noted here is the additional amount of payments that are built into the budget, because this was the actuary report as of 2019. So the additional funds that the city has put in of the $650 for this year and then the $350 for the out years for a total of $2.4 million is not included in this evaluation. Do you agree, Frank?
Yes.
Julian?
Yes, that's correct.
So the funded ratio as of the end of the 5-year plan being at 25 through 26 at 43% will be much higher than that with the additional funding that you plan to put into the plan.
That's correct.
And the next valuation is expected for the period ending June 2021?
That's correct. We've started pulling together the payroll data. Milliman is ready to go. They have been made aware of the additional contribution that has already been made on behalf of the city. So hopefully I'll be able to get that valuation turned around rather quickly.
And hopefully you're going to be more north of, in the 5-year plan at 43% funded, more closer to the 50% funded.
Yes, I would hope.
Yep, I would too. Any other questions from the board members?
Yes, Bob White, first of all, this is great, and I'm prepared to vote for it, but we seem to have a number of moving pieces. You're going to be getting the actual valuation, after we vote. I think that my recollection was that the state funding was uncertain, and I'm hoping that there was a lot of favorable clarity yesterday, although I don't know. But it just seems that when we refer to a 5-year plan, down the road, if you reformat it and put in all the new things based on new information, that may be helpful so that we don't have to say, okay, we have this plan, but remember, we adjusted it for this, this, and this. And my brain's too small to handle that. But anyway, that's a thought. And do you have any initial, I know this wasn't part of the assignment, but do you have any initial reactions to the budget?
I've seen some preliminary numbers come in. It does appear that Allentown will be getting additional funding from the state in the budget that was approved by the House, and I'm waiting to hear if it's been approved by the Senate. The expectation, at least my recommendation to the council, will be that just as this year where we had extra money coming in gets put into the pension fund, I would like to see that happen since the fund balance is at a healthy level and there's no risk of going into deficit with that fund balance. I'd rather take that money and use it productively and fund this pension for our firefighters.
Good morning, this is Secretary McCall joining a little bit late. I do want to clarify that the budget did pass those to House the other side. Our work is not finished. We do have to come back into special session to complete the implementing language, but the full tier pilot is funded in the budget. This is significant additional resources for West Haven as well as for West Haven for Center, Allentown, and West Shore Fire. So with respect to Allentown, we estimate more than additional $700 million in municipal aid, and the same for West Haven, about $3 million permanently added in the budget. So that will be an update in the full board meeting, but additional resources are codified in the budget that passed those that have the end of the. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Secretary.
Thank you. Mike, you need to put your phone on mute, please. Thank you, Secretary. That's great news.
Oh, one more, maybe this is for the big meeting, but, does this reflect, distribution of whatever the CARES Act funding was, the reimbursements? I know the American Rescue Plan may very well be in flux, but, does this reflect CARE?
No, Allentown does not, Allentown at this point does not include any additional CARES funding.
Okay.
That's correct, and the numbers that I referenced were, the municipal aid, apart from the significant resources that would be flowing to the city, including the fire department, under the local fiscal recovery funds that were under the ARPA bill. So the town, will have significant resources between permanent municipal aid increases to help with operating costs, and then the one-time ARPA stimulus fund to help with recovery from the pandemic.
I move approval of the 5-year plan.
Thank you very much, Bob. Can we get a second? Second. Thank you, Christine. Any other discussion? Julian, can I get a roll call vote, please, since we have no other discussion?
Yes. Mr. White?
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton?
Yes.
Mr. Felsigno? Yeah. Mr. Egan?
No.
Ms. Shaw?
Yes.
And either Secretary McCall, I'm not sure if you're still on the line, or Ms. Kennison? Voting yes.
I say yes.
Okay, thank you, that's everybody.
Okay. The motion has passed. The 5-year plan has been approved. I have no other items on the agenda, and I need to be conscious of the full board meeting that will be taking place in 4 minutes. So at this time, can I get a motion to adjourn, please? And thank you everybody for joining. Who said that? So moved. Pat?
Bob.
Thank you, Bob. Second. How about a second? Christine? Thank you. All in favor? Say aye. Aye. All right, I'm sure there's no opposed, and we'll see you in the next meeting.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you all. I can't believe Egan voted no.
He's an ass. You gotta be quiet because this is on. But it's like, I'm with you. I knew he was going to. And the way he says it, he doesn't even say it like nicely.
Right.
He just is